Hello. I have decided to go for a run, obviously. Again, I'm not super motivated, but I just feel like I want to use the days that I can to run. Because we are, as of today, exactly 5 weeks away. 5 weeks today, I should be done, hopefully. And I've got a couple of things on over the next few weeks. Nothing major, like I should be able to run, twice a week. But I'm also aware of my leg being sore and being sore for a few days, or at least, 36 hours after every run, which means that time period I can't run in. And so I just think on the days where I have time, I should, and feel good, I should go for a run. I'm not intending to go long today. My intention is 5 kilometers without stopping, and that should be fine. Unless my knee really starts to act up, that should be fine. If I can push further without stopping, that's what I want to do. But as soon as I stop, I want to come home. That's the goal for today. We shall see if I do that. The thing that happens when I go for a run, and, I always say, I'm setting out to do X, Y, Z, and then I usually end up doing X, Y, Z plus whatever. And the reason that happens is because I know how much motivation I need to get out of the house and start a run. So once I'm out, I really want to make the most of it. So I tell myself, well, I'll just do another kilometer because I'm out anyway, I'm dressed anyway, I'm warm anyway. But I really, really want to not overdo it. So I'm gonna warm up now and also just see how I'm feeling after the warm up. If my knee is sore after the warm up, I won't go out. I might do more stretches, but I'm gonna listen to my body. Whilst I warm up, however, I found a clip that I never included in the last video, which belonged there after I did my hilly run in Wales. So I'm gonna pop that in while I'm warming up and then I'll chat to you after. Hello, so just to give another little update about yesterday's run. No, not yesterday, Friday. The knee was sore during the run, definitely, but I feel like it wasn't as painful as it has been in past runs. And when we stopped to walk and then sort of went back to running, it still wasn't as bad as it's been the last few times, so that's a win. And then the pain yesterday, in the night, I could feel that it was twinging. Oh, my battery's gonna die, no. But it wasn't as bad in terms of pain. Now, I didn't walk as much, I wasn't as active yesterday, I was mostly just chilling on the couch all day, but the pain was not as bad as it usually is the day after a run. So I feel like these exercises are helping. I'm doing them every night, I think, since I first mentioned it. So that's all good, hoping it will continue to strengthen and help before, half marathon day. That's all because I'm gonna die, or my camera's gonna die in a second. So I will see you all whenever I next run. Yay. Hello, I've just got back. I will obviously talk more in a moment, but I felt really good during this run until about the 7th kilometer when my stomach just went all over the place and all I could focus on between the 7th kilometer and getting home was getting home. And even once I got home and settled a little bit, I considered going back out because I've just checked, I did 8 kilometers in just under an hour. And I really feel like if I went back out, I could do 10 in around 1:15, which for me is still pretty good time. That would be one of my best 10K times. But my knee is still twinging and my stomach's still not completely settled, and not just the stomach, everything's feeling a little bit, I don't know, my heart is racing, not from running, but it's the same I get when I feel sick. And so even though I would do those final 2 kilometers very locally, I just feel I wanna not. Basically, I just don't want to go out. I feel like I need to stay home in case anything funky happens. Which is really annoying, it's really annoying, but I will talk in more depth once I've cooled down and settled. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. I feel like I need to get my heart rate down. That's goal number 1. And obviously stretching and looking after all my body parts. Hello! Right, let's talk about this run a bit more. I can't remember what I spoke about. It's been sort of a couple of hours since I filmed the last clip, and I don't remember what I said. So either this clip is gonna jump weirdly because I've repeated myself, or you're gonna hear me repeating myself, and I'm sorry about that. I warmed up differently today than usual, and I did feel very warm, in a good way, my muscles felt ready. And I started running and I was going slow for the first kilometer, but still finding that again, the chest was just not having a great time, not enjoying running. But by the time I got to the first kilometer mark, so sort of entering the 2nd kilometer, suddenly something switched and it really felt, I don't want to say easy, but the easiest it's felt in a long time. It finally felt almost effortless. And I was like, this is fantastic, because I had this a couple of times when I was training for the winter run, a couple of times, not very often, but I don't think I've had it once since starting the training for the half marathon, and it's made running a lot harder. It's made improving a lot harder. So it feels good. And it feels like maybe I'll be able to run beyond 5 kilometers without stopping. And I got to 5 and I was like, yeah, I can keep going. And that sort of effortlessness did continue for the most part in those next few kilometers. Obviously, there was still a little voice in the back of my mind saying, I could stop and walk now, but I really tried to tell myself, no, I've got to ride this high and, run for as much as I can. And I ended up running to 6 kilometers and then stopping. In part, I don't know if that's because it was an uphill right at that point, and so I don't know if that made it harder. If I went flat, maybe I could have, kept going for longer. But I was also starting to feel tired. And then I did a bit of walking and a bit of running in the 7th kilometer, and then more or less, well, I can't remember the exact moment when it happened, but I think it was around when the voice said, you've hit 7 kilometers. My stomach was just having, I don't know what it was doing, having trouble, I would say. And I knew I was about a kilometer away from my house, and I was just like, am I gonna make it home? I felt like it hit me, this wave of like sickness. And initially I was trying to walk slow, so that, I could try and get home. But towards the end, I was walking as fast as I could to get home. And I did consider running because I definitely had the energy to run, but I didn't want to risk running, to be honest. I didn't want to be bouncing my stomach around. But I can't remember very much of that final kilometer because I really was just absolutely focusing on just trying to make sure that my stomach would settle. Anyway, got home, settled a little bit, and I had so much, I think I said this, I really felt like I could keep going. But in the end I decided not to, and I just cooled down and showered and all that. And I am glad I did that because I did need to be near the bathroom for another little while. It has all settled now, but the thing is with me, I get very triggered. Apparently there's a word for this, I can't remember what it is now, but I get very triggered by the thought of being sick. And so even though physically I was settled, my heart was still going and I was still, not at my calm, So it is a shame because aside from the stomach issues, I felt like this was going to be a really good run. It was a really good run. But I feel like I could have done even better. But it is what it is. And, it's a shame because I probably could have had a pretty good 10K speed thing. But you gotta listen to your body, even if it's not the knee. Speaking of the knee, it felt, I would say, mostly fine for the entire time I was running, and even when I was walking, I don't think it was too sore. Again, that last kilometer is a complete blur. Maybe it was sore, but I was not paying attention to it. But when I got home, it didn't feel sore, I don't think. But now it does. And even I think, was it hurting while I was cooling down? I can't remember. It's not terrible pain. It's definitely nowhere near as bad as the last one, but it's there, and it probably will be, annoying for the next 36 hours, but hopefully it will pass, and then, we'll see where we go from there. But I had no plans to go for a run today, and I'm so glad I did, because it really felt like one of my best runs so far. And it's again given me that feeling of like, okay, I can do this, even though obviously I did 6 kilometers without stopping, which is half of what I'm aiming to do. But I think finding that groove back, which I really feel I haven't had for a while, that made a difference. I just need to check on something that's cooking, but I will come back and go through the data in a moment. Okay, I'm back. Let's have a look. I really did try and go slow for those kilometers that I was running, but I know that I went faster than a lot of the last few runs. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it's from the warm-up or if it's just other factors. Who's to say? Honestly, I feel like so much of, I'm sure there is, of course there are ways to know, professional athletes obviously, and trainers and whatever, but I just go by feel, and I don't know why today felt easier than other runs. But anyway, let's have a look. So overall, for just over 8 kilometers, my average pace was 7:16 per kilometer, and that was over 58 minutes and 45 seconds, which I really feel, like the 10K I definitely could have done, under 1:15, I reckon. But anyway, it's fine. And according to Strava, I did my third fastest 5K. The 5Ks on the Nike Run app were lies, I think, so I really don't know what this actually compares to, but that's good. I wonder what the speed was. 34 minutes 09, with an average pace of 6:50 per kilometer. The first kilometer, which I really was trying to be slow on, was 6:37, which was my fastest out of all of these. Next one was 6:45, then 6:55, then 7:02, then 6:53, and 6:52. So somehow the fourth kilometer was slower than the others. I wonder if there were more hills there, but I don't know. Then the 7th kilometer was 7:49, so still pretty reasonable, I think. And the 8th kilometre was 9:19. And considering I mostly walked that, I kind of think that's impressive. I don't know what average walking pace is, but I feel like that's pretty good. So this is really interesting. Let me show you this. That's the graph. But if you look over here, you can see there was a dip, sort of probably at the end of the 7th kilometre. You can see I was running up until the 7th. Then there's a dip where I must have just been walking to recover. And then suddenly right there, I speed up. And that was me desperate to get home. What was my speed when I was walking there? Yeah, like around 7:52 for that. 6:40 at one point. That was right when I was getting home. So I'm annoyed that I didn't get to push myself further because I feel like I could have used this run for that. But I did push myself further than the 5K, which I set out to do, and I did feel good, and that's a win. And hopefully my stomach learns to settle. I mean, this was a one-off. I think I just ate something funky in the last 24 hours, and hopefully that won't happen again. I don't know when I'm going to run next, as I may have mentioned, although I don't think I did. I have an audition on Wednesday, so I'm definitely not going to run before Wednesday. And I don't know what exactly is going to be involved on Wednesday, so I don't know if that's going to be dancing/active/ using my knee. So I may speak to you then or after. But if it is intense for my knee, then I might not run at all this week, really, until next Sunday. I don't even think I've got time next Sunday. So who knows when my next run will be. But if it's not too bad, then I'll try and go for a run Thursday evening. That's kind of what I'm planning. But we shall see. Who knows? Oh, also, oh my gosh, this was so funny. So, maybe that's what happened at the 4th kilometre. I mean, after. Basically, it was really cloudy and windy today. So I thought this was going to be a good day for a run because breeze, clouds, excellent. But I went out and again, it was still humid. Not terrible, but it was humid. But there was a breeze, and so that was worth something, absolutely. But it kind of stopped for a bit, which was annoying, and so made it hotter, and I felt hot. And I'd even looked just before I went out for the run, and between whatever times I went out, there were 2 hours where it was a 50% chance of rain, and then beyond that, it went down to like 15%. And I was genuinely about to pull out my camera to say, it's meant to be a 50% chance of rain and it's not raining and we're in the wrong 50%, blah, blah, blah. And I started feeling little tiny droplets on my skin. And that very quickly went from little tiny droplets to proper rain. And it was so wonderful. So maybe that's why, even though I was slowing down towards the 4th kilometre, I sped back up for 5 and 6 because the rain must have just given me that boost of energy. The only annoying thing was it kept getting in my eyes. But aside from that, I hope it rains on race day. My goodness. Well, it won't be nice for the crowds, I guess. But I just really like running in cooler, colder, wetter weather. So we'll see. I mean, we can't plan for that, obviously. But I guess if that happens, that will help me. But anyway, that's everything for now. I will see you whenever the next time is. Bye. Hello. First of all, the knee seems to be doing all right. It's sore. It's definitely not totally normal. But it's also definitely not as painful as it has been the last few times after a run. So that feels like a good sign. But the real reason I wanted to come on here is because I spoke to a family member today who told me to send them the link and they would share it with their community. And already within about 5-10 minutes, I've had over £100 donated, which is just mind-blowing. I saw my emails come through and I just sat there in shock. I doubt there's been any more since, but may as well check while we're on here. Oh, yeah, no, another one. Incredible. I think that means I'm now over 250, which is over halfway. Oh my gosh, we're at 328. That's wild. I thought we'd be just over 250. Wow, I'm genuinely shocked. I was not expecting that. So many of these are anonymous, so I won't even be able to, I probably don't know most of them anyway, but wow. I'm so amazed by the Jewish community. This happened when I did the winter run as well, and suddenly the numbers were just flying, and these people don't know me. They don't know the family member that I'm running in honour of. They probably don't even know the charity. The sun's just come out, it's very bright. But they want to give, and I really appreciate that, and I'm sure the charity does as well, and it's very moving. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it here because I am being blinded by the sun. Oh, maybe it heard me. Hey, look at that. But I will keep you guys posted, obviously, on everything, including the donations. But yeah, I saw those first few emails come through and I was just overwhelmed, just by, seeing what the community does, but then also what I am capable of instigating. And I said this, I think, again for the winter run, like knowing that I have the power to make this happen. I mean, with, you know, help from family members and whatnot, but still that just feels, it's so meaningful. So yeah, just wanted to share that. I will see you all later in the week, probably. Bye! Hello. You may have seen this in a vlog already, or actually more likely, you will see this in a vlog again, but I've been working from home today and I've been psyching myself up all morning and all day to go for a really long run this evening. In my head, I was thinking 19 kilometers, allowing about 3 hours, and just thinking, you know, I'll go out there and do my best. However, about 5 minutes ago, I got a message to say that I am working this evening, which I completely forgot about at one of my other jobs. So I can't go for a run, and this is really annoying because I didn't go for a run yesterday because I was waiting to find out if I was going to do something with Wayne and his family, and then we didn't. But by the time I realised we didn't, it was too late to go out for a run. As I mentioned to you, I think earlier, I didn't want to go for a run on Monday or Tuesday because I had an audition on Wednesday and I needed to be good, active, but then I won't be able to go tonight. Tomorrow night, it's already Shabbat, so can't go Friday, can't go Saturday, working 2 jobs again on Sunday, so will not have time then. Monday night, I'm meeting up with a friend. Tuesday, Wayne and I are hoping to go to the theatre. So the next time I can run is Wednesday, which will be 10 days from my last run, and I am not happy about that at all. I really wish I hadn't put myself in this position, but it's fine. How it's gonna go, I think, is on that Wednesday, I will do my super long run of about 19 kilometers, and then I'll start to taper, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it actually pans out, but it's just a shame. I'm so annoyed at myself, but hey ho, it is what it is. I did some exercises yesterday. I mean, I've been doing exercises every day, but I'll try and be even stricter about, you know, keeping up with that. And we're just gonna have to find a way to get through it. I'm really kicking myself though, that's so annoying. I should have gone yesterday. Oh well, too late now. Very annoying. Hello. So as I was not able to go for a run today, and I won't be able to go for basically another week, I'm gonna try and do some form of exercise just in here. I've got my running playlist ready to go. I'm probably just gonna do like high knees, kickbacks, star jumps, squats, all that jazz, and just find something that feels like it's making me move. I don't know if you can hear my laptop. It's got louder and it shouldn't. It's very aggressive at the moment. Anyway, it is currently 9:25 as of when I'm filming this. I will let you know what time I finish, how long I last. Let's go. Whew, okay, hello. It is 9:51. I've literally just changed tops and that's it. I am warm. It is warm in here. So I've done about 25 minutes of exercising, working out, whatever you want to call it. I'm glad I've done it, but my goodness, I don't enjoy it one bit. What I have discovered, however, is that my shoulders are really, really tight. I've always known my back, especially my lower back, but, well, and also sort of this area, whatever that's called. I guess it's also your shoulders. But the sides of my shoulders, my goodness, when I was doing this stretch, I could really feel it. Obviously, I've been focusing so much on the legs that I've just neglected everything else. So I'm gonna try and be more intentional about that when I'm warming up and cooling down. Oh, it's so warm. Let me tie up my hair. Is this gonna be one of those where it's really neat for no reason at all, or really messy? Just get it all the way out of my face. So look, I'm really glad I did it. I hope I can do it again tomorrow night, although it's gonna be a quick turnaround from getting home from work to going out for Shabbat. And I don't know what time I'll be home from that. I have no plans on Saturday, so it's definitely the kind of thing I can do, you know, on Shabbat, because I don't need music for it, and it's just using my body. And I just hope that I can do this as often as possible, even though I don't enjoy it, but just to keep up the fitness and the strength and whatnot before next week. But I am now gonna cool down and just have a chill rest of the evening. I'll keep you guys posted. I also at some point want to show you all the exercises that I do for my knee, for what I think is ITBS. But obviously not tonight, sorry. Hopefully I will see you all soon, although probably the earliest I imagine will be Sunday. C'est la vie. Oh, also, I'm especially upset about not being able to run today because it's exactly a month out from my running marathon. Wow. It's a month out from the half marathon. That's what I was trying to verbalize there. Completely failed. Oh, and also, I don't know if I've mentioned, I've surpassed my target. Unbelievable. My family members community has really pulled through. That being said, if you still want to donate, the amount literally does not matter anymore. I don't have a goal to reach, but anything is appreciated. Anything makes a difference. As always, the link will be below, and let's just see how high we can get the number. Can we beat my cancer research run? Who's to say? I mean, technically we should be doubling the amount because I'm doing over double the distance, but I don't think that's likely. I'm not holding my breath. I was already worried about the 500 target, which is half of what I got for the cancer research. So I'm definitely not sort of holding my breath for anything, but I'm very glad and grateful that we have reached and surpassed that target. It really means a lot, and it definitely gives me more of a boost to do this half marathon, because let me tell you, I would not be doing it for fun. All right, I'll see you all soon. Hello. It is exactly 4 weeks until the half marathon. I'm probably going to be in the middle of running it this time 4 weeks from now, which is crazy. Unfortunately, today I'm working 2 jobs, one in the morning, one in the evening, with 1.5 hours in between. So, well, actually 2 hours in between start and end, or end and start, I should say. So that's not enough time to go for a run, which is annoying. But what I'm gonna do is walk to work. I'm expecting it to take about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm not gonna run. It's a very hot day and I'm not sort of cut out for running at the moment. But I feel like at least if I'm walking, then I'm being active. I'm still using those muscles, maybe not necessarily in the same way, but I'm engaging them to some extent. Also, on Friday night, I was walking back from my grandma's, and I think I've told you before, it's about a 20-minute walk. And I was wearing my trainers because my boots are broken, and that's a whole other story. But I was walking back, and it was lovely weather because it was evening, and there was a gorgeous moon. And as I was walking, I was thinking, do you know what? It would be quicker to run. And so I just did. I just ran. It wasn't very long. It was probably about 5 minutes of running because I'd already done some walking. But it felt fun and it felt nice and it felt good. And it was like, at least I'm doing something, you know? Like, I'm so limited at the moment and I am so aware of how soon this half marathon is that I will take anything I can at the moment. I'm meant to be meeting with a friend after work tomorrow, and I'm already thinking, depending what time we finish, and it really does depend, maybe I will try and walk home, which would be like an hour and a half walk, give or take. But maybe, you know, I really need to be pushing myself at this point. But we'll see what time I finish, because if I finish at, you know, like 9 o'clock, I'm not going to want to be doing an hour and a half walk after that. Anyway, I'm enjoying a smoothie today, and then I'm going to walk, and yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. Yay! Hello, not just did I walk to work today, I've decided to walk back. Who knows why, but do you know what? I think it's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a yellow crop top with my long skirt, and it's just making me feel good. So we're going for a walk. Yay!